Hello, hello. How are we all doing today? Let me see, are we live? Yeah, we are. Amazing. Let me share it in a Facebook group. And let's go live on Instagram. So, checking connection and we're live. Hello, hello. Live on Instagram, live on Facebook. And I'm here today to follow up on our training of last week. Who was here with me last week? Who was here with me to hear about the mindset shifts to feel capable of teaching yoga? Hi, Christina. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Maria. Nice to see all of you. Write in the comments, were you here with me last week? Because today is a continuation of that training. So last week, I was live to speak about mindset shifts that you need to feel capable of teaching yoga. And I spoke about 4 reasons why you think or you believe you aren't ready to teach. All of them were fears, they were limiting beliefs that live inside your head. And as a yoga teacher, you know that fears and limiting beliefs aren't true. No, they are not true. They are based on feelings of inadequacy and maybe your past experiences. Now, often these fears and limiting beliefs, they are often wired deeply in our unconscious or subconscious mind. And it's really hard to break free from them because it starts with a thought, then it makes you feel a certain way, which then provokes another thought or another feeling or an emotion. And I said it last week, but then boom, you're stuck, or you're stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, of doubting your skills and you're feeding as if you're eating, giving food to your own insecurities, which is really not necessary. So as I finished that training last week, I realized that there's a lot more I'd like to share about this topic. So today, grab pen and paper, write with me, because I'm going to give you 3 practical tricks to reprogram your mindset. Reprogram it, yeah? So my aim for this training, is for you really to help you shift your thought patterns that make you negatively think about yourself and shift those negative thought patterns to more positive ones, more motivational ones, so that you feel capable of teaching yoga and also building a lasting and a sustainable career. So we're going to find out 3 practical tips to overcome limiting and negative thinking and shift your thoughts outward rather than in. Okay. So to summarize a little bit, in last week's training, I mentioned 4 scenarios which will make you feel unconfident about your teaching abilities or the possibilities, your experience, or the way that you show up. Now, those 4 scenarios that I shared with you last week, they were that you've just finished your yoga teacher training and you feel overwhelmed with knowledge or information. Number 2 was that you haven't received enough teaching practice or feedback on your teaching and now believe that you're not capable or that your classes really are not effective. The 3rd one was that you're comparing yourself to other teachers, their experience, their knowledge, their expertise, or maybe even their success. And the 4th one is that you fear being judged. Yeah, and this could be judgment on your skills, on your experience, maybe your accent, your pronunciation, your cues, your sequences, and so much more. So have a think for yourself. Is it one of those 4, or maybe a few of them, that causes you to feel incapable of teaching yoga? Now, I would like to categorize those 4 in 2 different categories. One of them is practical lack, well, really a lack of the practical side of it. And the other one is your emotions and your mental attitudes towards yourself and your abilities. For this training specifically, I'm focusing on overcoming a lack of confidence caused by your mindset and your emotions. In next week's training, I will continue again, and there I'm going to explain how you can actually gain teaching opportunities or teaching practice to overcome the practical side of it. Yes, so I will speak about how to get hired, how to get teaching experience without getting hired. But that's next week. This week's training, how can you gain teaching? How can you overcome the mental and the emotional blockages? So if the cause of your lack of confidence is mental or emotional, and this can be because of fear, comparison, self-doubt, your insecurities, there's 3 things that I want you to introduce you to. So grab pen and paper and let's go through it. Number 1, one way to overcome it, or one way to really dial in with what is holding you back, is becoming aware of your thoughts. And it sounds simpler than it actually is. So to break free from negative thinking, the very first step is becoming aware of the thoughts that limit you, right? And you can go to therapy, you can do coaching, or you can receive mentoring. And in those types of training, coaching, therapy, or mentoring, there are various techniques that can help you gain awareness of your thought patterns. Think of a brain dump that you can use through journaling, or making use of journal prompts, or the thought record system. But if you're completely new to analyzing your thought patterns, these 3 techniques would be your starting point. Now, what really is a brain dump, right? What is a brain dump? A brain dump allows you to write down all the things that occupy your mind. And you do that without thinking what you're going to write, how neat it looks on paper. Write down any thought that comes to your mind until there's nothing left. Now, it sometimes helps that you set a timer for yourself so that you have a little bit of structure to get it all out as well, a little bit of a push. Set a timer for yourself, and without pausing it, write until the time is up. So without pausing, without thinking, without doing something else, without overthinking or analyzing what you're going to write down everything that comes to your mind. The longer you take for this, the deeper you get. And the better as well your insight will be in your deepest and your most unconscious thought patterns. So a brain dump, that's number 1. Then we have journal prompts. Journal prompts are like questions. So they give you a specific topic or a question, and you will have to answer it. So the more personal or the more targeted they are towards understanding the way you think about yourself and what you're capable of, the more effective these are. There are journal prompts, there are journals that you can buy that already have journal prompts written in them. But you can also find really great resources on the internet that are completely free. Whatever it is, make sure that those questions focus on the way that you think about yourself, or the way that you think about your abilities or your skills and your knowledge. Yeah. And then answer the questions as honestly and as specifically as you can to gain a better understanding of the way that you speak to yourself or the way that you think about yourself. The thought record system is often used in cognitive therapy, the thought record system. Some of you will know about it. By looking at a certain situation, you will analyze your thoughts. your emotions, and your behavior. And then those insights will help you then decide the reaction as well you have to it. Now, when you have insight into what you usually do, what you usually think, feel, or act on, will then also give you an opportunity to rewire it and choose an alternative reaction to it. And that will help you to reprogram your self-learned instincts. With that, I mean, if that there is, for example, a situation where you feel judged. Now, this judgment will give you a certain thought or an emotion, and also then decides for you how you react or how you behave. Understanding how that process goes helps you to rewire it and decide on a different outcome of that. So the thought record system. There's one more technique when I speak about techniques that we use in therapy, coaching, or mentoring. And that is a technique I particularly like to reprogram the way that you speak to yourself. It's called the think method. And some of you will have seen it because we've got a post about this on Instagram. It's one that that's often used to better or to improve or to speak more compassionate with other people. But I also think it's extremely beneficial to reprogram the way that you speak to yourself. So once you're aware, and this is why we need to do a little bit of analyzing of our thoughts first by doing a brain dump or using journal prompts or using the thought record system. When you are aware of your thoughts, you can ask yourself 5 questions. And really, they're just 5 words. When you realize that you're negatively speaking to yourself, or whenever you catch yourself having a thought that blocks you, or that limits you, or that stops you from doing what you want to do, ask yourself, number 1, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Think. True, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind. Be honest with yourself. And if the answer is no to all of them, or to even one of them, give yourself the challenge to reframe what you're thinking in a more positive way. So all of this is really analyzing your thoughts and reprogramming it so that it's no more negative thinking, but has a positive way of speaking to yourself or thinking about yourself. The second trick that I want to give you are guided affirmations or writing your own affirmations. Affirmations are affirmative sentences that help you practice positive thinking with the aim of self-empowerment. Now, the repetition of affirmations stimulate your brain and ultimately yourself to believe in yourself, your abilities, your knowledge, your skills, your achievements, your successes. So affirmations usually only have a few words and they are stated in the present. It happens now, or it's already happening. They can also use I am statements, as if you're ready to do something, or if you are doing something, or simply be something, or that you already believe in it. Yeah. So you can practice writing affirmations and using affirmations in many, many, many different ways. With the people that are doing the English for Yoga Teachers course, coincidentally, we're doing this today. So if those are watching, listen up. On the English for Yoga Teachers course, in our first module, this is something I practice with people. Because often when people start a new learning journey, there's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of misbelief in the things that they are capable of. So what we do in the first module to cultivate self-belief and confidence is that I have every person send in 3 of their favorite affirmations 3, recordings of their favorite affirmations. And then together as a group, we create an audio in which we speak about our affirmations. So we use them out loud so that you can listen to yourself. You can listen to the others that are going through a similar journey. You can listen to it on repeat, support one another, and also hold each other accountable. But if you're not on the course, because I know not everyone here is on our courses, you can do this for yourself too. So when it comes to affirmations, what I recommend you do is, number 1, listen to guided affirmations on, for example, Spotify, on YouTube, or Vimeo, whatever platform you use. What you can do, number 2, is write your own set of affirmations. Maybe you have a journal practice already. And one of your practices can be that every morning you write down all the things in I am statements or in the present simple. I do recommend to avoid words like not or don't. Keep it really positive. Use positive language. You can also use your own sets of affirmations to read your affirmations to yourself, because hearing yourself speak them out loud or talk to yourself targets or stimulates your brain in a different way. You can create your own recordings and listen to your own recordings of the affirmations. The more you do it, the quicker and the more you will actually believe in them. And hang your affirmations in places that you are constantly reminded of them. In the bathroom, in the mirror, in the kitchen, on your laptop, wherever you spend time. Yeah. So practice number 2. Trick number 2, use affirmations. The last thing that I want to mention, the last trick, is a mindset shift. And that is, keep reminding yourself that whenever you teach, or whenever you prepare a class, or whenever a student asks you something, teaching is not about you. I'm looking at both cameras. Teaching is not about the teacher. Now, what do I really mean with that? A lot, or I would say many new or starting yoga teachers are extremely self-conscious. And maybe you recognize yourself in one of the following things. So it may be that you keep yourself busy thinking about what your students think of you as a teacher, what they think of the way that you speak, what they think of your accent, of the clothes that you wear, of the music that you play in class, the way that you structure your sequence, the way that you cue your classes. You're constantly thinking about what other people think of you or how they perceive you. In this case, too much of your energy is spent on the way that you come across to your students and what your students think about you. What if you could turn that around and focus the energy that you spent on yourself and put it on your students instead? Yeah, put it on your students instead. In other words, shift your focus. Shift your focus from being self-conscious to your students' needs. So if you don't already do this, what this could look like is that you get in conversation with your students and ask them, why do you come to these classes? What is it that you want to practice? What is it that you want to learn or develop or improve or focus on? What are your needs really, or the desires? What is it that you want to get out of this practice? And then use their answers to find ways that optimize their class experience for them. Not because you have to prove yourself that you're able to teach or that you're capable of helping and teaching them, but you're doing this for them. And that's all really part of being a teacher, right? So the moment you walk into your classroom, it's all about your students. You're not the teacher showing off their experience or proving themselves they're a good enough teacher to be their teacher. No, none of that. You are the teacher in service, guiding them, helping them, creating an experience for them. Yeah, they are there. Your students are there to receive your guidance. If they didn't want your guidance, or if they didn't trust you, if they didn't trust you enough to come to class, they would go somewhere else. They would practice on YouTube or a different studio or with a different teacher. You will have to trust that your students really don't care about what you wear or how you speak or how beautiful your wheel pose looks or how well you can imitate an American accent. Focus on your students. Focus on your students' needs and their experience. And I promise you that shift is going to make a huge, 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 very big difference. All right. So to summarize, 3 tricks to help you reprogram your mindset for a lasting and for a sustainable yoga teaching career. Number 1, analyze your thoughts. Become aware of the thoughts that stop you and that hinder you, that block you from teaching in the first place. And you can do that by using journal prompts. You can do a brain dump. You can do a brain dump, or you can use the thought record system, analyze your thoughts, emotions, the behavior, the action, and the outcome. And you can use the think method. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negatively, ask yourself, is it true? Is it helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind? Think. Yeah, it's an acronym. Practice number 2, or trick number 2, is using affirmations. And you can do this in multiple ways. Find ways that work for you. But what I recommend is that you write your own. Use I am statements and write them in the present simple. Skip words like not or don't. So use positive language. And then read them out to yourself every morning, or create a recording and listen to yourself every morning, or hang them up in places that you frequently spend time, like the bathroom, the kitchen, your laptop, the living room, next to the TV, wherever it is that you spend time, so that you're constantly reminded of them. Yeah. And number 3, trick number 3, is keep reminding yourself, teaching is not about me. When I teach, when I'm a teacher, it's not about me. Shift your focus, worrying about what you look like and how you come across, to how can I optimize the experience of my students? What are their needs and what can I do to be of service? Because as a yoga teacher, you're in a role of service. You're there to guide them, to help them, and to create an experience that they love, really. So it's all about your students. I hope that this helps. And as you have guessed, I've got more to share about this, but I'm going to do that next week, just to give you little bits of food for thought and help you overcome this little by little, because shifting and reprogram your mindset, all of that takes a little bit of time, right? So start doing these things first. Next week, come back and I'm going to speak to you about the practical side of things. So if you lack confidence in your teaching, next week I'm going to speak about how you actually can get teaching practice without getting hired straight away, without having a paid job straight away, but first really work on finding the confidence to actually get hired after that. Yeah, so these types of teaching experiences, they will help you build the confidence so that you can gradually build and expand your own career. So I spoke about a chicken and egg situation last week, and that situation describes not feeling confident enough to teach, yet knowing that you need experience to teach or to feel confident. So what do you need to do first, right? What is first here, the chicken or the egg? Confidence or experience? I'm going to share it with you how to get out of that, how to break the shell of the egg and get there. In the meantime, I would love for you to check out all our resources, because at Enga, I help you to gain confidence in your teaching skills, to optimize your language and communication for yoga classes, and even build and expand your international career, right? With our private sessions, I really help you to build your business or the career path as well, to find and attract job opportunities worldwide. So check out all our resources. We've got quizzes, we've got mini courses, we've got larger courses. We've got the English Yoga Teachers course. There's a lot for you available. So there's no excuse to postpone your teaching career anymore. Yeah, and I've freed up space in my calendar for the months of May to July for private coaching. So if you're ready to level up and you want to receive personal guidance, have a look, send me a message, book a discovery call so we can carve out your learning journey. And I look forward to seeing you wherever, on the podcast, on Facebook, on Instagram, or in our courses on the online learning platform. If you have any questions, write to me, and I hope to see you next week to speak about how to find teaching opportunities or find teaching experience without getting hired. All right. Sending you lots of love. Have a great rest of your day. And for those that are here that are also on the English for Yoga Teachers course, I will see you in half an hour. Sending you lots of love, everyone. Goodbye.